Hello and welcome to another in our series of AccelerateHER interviews, where I interview fantastic female founders. And I'm delighted to say I have another fantastic female founder here today in Lina Gasiūnaitė of Biotangents. Lina was a winner in the AccelerateHER Awards 2019, and I'm delighted you've been able to join me today. How are you?
I'm well, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Start by telling me about Biotangents.
So we are a veterinary diagnostics business, and what we've built Biotangents around is this isothermal molecular diagnostic technology, meaning that it detects genetic fingerprint of a specific disease. And people think of that as being only the biochemical reactions, but really it's three things that we offer. So we have machine learning algorithms that guide the design of our diagnostic tests. We have a highly customizable biology platform. And then we're also developing the microfluidics that are needed to move what's essentially a lab technology out to the vet clinic. And with this, we're developing two product lines. One line supplies our diagnostic reagents to laboratories, and the second line automates sample preparation and diagnostic reactions in a disposable cartridge. So it's simple to use, and less trained personnel can get lab quality results outside of the laboratory setting. Our technology can be adapted to detect various pathogens and is applicable to different sectors. But in the first instance, we are developing products for infectious diseases of livestock. And specifically, our first ones are for bovine viral diarrhea, respiratory disease, brucellosis, and mastitis, which are of significant cost to the industry. Mastitis is actually the costliest disease of cattle. Cows with mastitis produce less milk, they struggle to get pregnant, and they're more likely to be culled early. And losses from it average at around 70 to 250 pounds per animal per year. So it's quite a significant cost. And it's important to determine which pathogen exactly causes the disease in order to tailor the treatment. But specific pathogen diagnosis really needs a laboratory analysis currently. So it takes up to a week usually. And delay in these treatments can lead to population worsening and to chronic disease, to animal suffering, and even death. So antibiotics are often administered presumptively. And industry really needs those accurate on-site diagnostics, and we're working to provide a solution. So we aim to enhance sustainability of livestock farming and really give vets and farmers the tool that enables them to make rapid decisions and to take rapid action to treat and prevent the disease.
Wow, that sounds amazing and very, very complicated. So allow me to paraphrase in layman's terms. I have friends who are cattle farmers, so essentially you're developing something that they would be able to test the cattle out in the field and get a result straight away. Is that?
Yes, absolutely. So in the first instance, we are targeting vet practice as the point of testing. However, in the future, I think we can also have the tests on farm delivering rapid results without having to wait 7 days, as it currently is the case.
That's amazing. That's really clever, and I know, as I say, I have friends in that industry who, you know, it's devastating if your cattle are ill and that. So fantastic, really clever, Lina. Where did you get the idea from?
So we have developed this isothermal nucleic acid detection technology in-house. It is patent pending currently, and we were looking for applications of the fields where it could be applied first. And due to the issues in veterinary industry, we decided to focus there first.
Fab, brilliant, and it's just leading on. That's great. Lina, I think the last time you and I were together, or one of the last times we were together, face-to-face was in Berlin. So fill me in, what's been happening since then? That was last June.
Yes, absolutely. I just want to say that it has been a great experience to be involved with AccelerateHER. And Jackie and the whole team at AccelerateHER have excellent connections and are very keen to see businesses and their founders grow. So after the competition, I went to 2 trade missions. Berlin was one, as you mentioned. We joined 2-day conference on pioneering technologies in healthcare. And we also visited the British Embassy and got introduced to key support organizations in Germany. And these are extremely useful contacts for expanding into the European market.
Have you kept in touch with them since then?
Yes, absolutely. And the second trade mission was to the United States. We visited events and got introduced to investors in Boston and New York, so key hubs really. And by participating, really we got useful exposure on global scale and a great pitch practice as well. And it was also very interesting to get more immersed in the community with fellow founders and to get to know some of them better during the travels. So yeah, AccelerateHER is part of a very supportive and inspirational network, and it's great to have this positive energy.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you to say.
Absolutely. So aside from that, since the competition, we've also made, of course, good progress in the business. We have a stronger scientific team. We hired 2 additional scientists with PhD qualifications, and that really helped drive innovation. So we have a patent application in international phase, but in addition to that, we are also drafting 2 additional ones for filing very shortly. Also last year, we moved into new facilities. We've got our own front door now.
And fab.
Absolutely. It's really great. And we have expanded in R&D facilities. We have a 140 square meter R&D lab currently. So we've got space to expand.
Brilliant. And how many employees have you got at the moment then?
Currently, we have 11.
Wow, that's amazing.
We have also built our first prototype for blood processing, and it consists of a disposable cartridge and associated hub, which drives this movement in the cartridge. And it's an early prototype, but it's really great to have it operational. And we've learned a lot during the development. And on the basis of that, we found solutions to simplify it further and improve it further. And over the next 12 months, we will produce a marketable version, which will offer that automation of sample preparation and diagnostic reaction that can be used outside of laboratory.
That's brilliant. And you've managed to achieve this during COVID, because presumably that slowed you down a wee bit, did it?
Yes, COVID has been difficult and it had significant impact on the business, and we had to react to it. But when it hit, really our primary focus was safety and well-being of our staff. And because of that approach, we've been able to maintain momentum as a business and to really minimize the negative effects of lockdown on technical and commercial progress. So we have managed to move forwards during this difficult time.
That's brilliant. Well done. I think it is the businesses that are able to be reactive and adapt very quickly that are surviving. So well done. And you were telling me you even took on a member of staff during lockdown. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So we hired our commercial director, Rachel, during the pandemic, actually. Since she joined us, we have only met in person once.
Wow.
And I thought that integrating a new team member remotely would be quite complicated. But it was a very pleasant surprise that it worked very well. And it's a credit to Rachel that she joined us during these strange circumstances and managed to connect with the team and get up to speed quickly. And since joining, she really facilitated conversations with key animal health players to discuss bespoke assay design for exclusive products and partnerships. So yeah, it's been great. And even though the situation is difficult, it has been a trial in agility, like you say, in how we conduct the business and how we adapt to changing circumstances. And it's a great lesson.
Yeah, and I credit not just to Rachel, but to you and the team as well to be able to achieve that. And, you know, talking of achievements, Lina, what are you most proud of having achieved since you started the Biotangents journey?
I would say building a very capable and multidisciplinary team who work very well together. So I mentioned we have 11 people currently, and they work in different areas like commercialization, bioinformatics, R&D, engineering. And it is really great to see fruitful collaboration between these different areas. And I think this is really thanks to the bright, innovative, and driven people that we have brought together. And some of our staff have been with us from very early days, since we were founded in 2015. And for me personally, it is very rewarding to see them grow personally and professionally. And of course, to contribute to that growth.
Yeah, that's fab. Yeah, that's great. And have you got any tips for any other female founders out there? Because I'm sure you're an inspiration to anyone watching just now. So what would be your number one tip?
So there are 2 points, I guess, that I have to mention. My first advice is to build and use your network. Specifically for female founders, I would really urge them to connect to AccelerateHER and tap into experience and great contacts available. But more generally, there are excellent organizations that help businesses grow and connect, and there are great starting points for relevant introductions, such as Scottish Enterprise, Knowledge Transfer Network, and different innovation centers, just to name a few of those.
Yeah.
And I believe that, you know, through communication, through learning and collaboration, we can really get to our destinations faster. And my second advice is a little bit more inward facing, and it's to celebrate success. It's surprisingly easy to forget to do this and to simply keep going forwards to the next objective, and there's always something on the horizon. It's an intense journey, so I think it's really important to stop, to reflect, and to show appreciation to people who enable these victories to happen.
That's great advice, really good advice, and I love how you gave an outward and an inward facing one. That's fab. I was talking to someone who said they're always very careful to celebrate their company's birthday as a way to sort of stop and take check of what have you achieved in the past year. So maybe a Biotangents birthday cake is in order at some point.
Absolutely.
Lina, finally, I am trying to compile a female founders hall of fame full of ladies like yourself that can inspire other female founders. Who would you put in that hall of fame?
I would say I would put Dr. Debbie Wake on the hall of fame.
Oh, fabulous. Tell us a wee bit more about her.
Yeah, so she's CEO and Chief Medical Officer of My Way Digital Health, and they offer digital management system for diabetes management. But it's really impressive how much she grew the business since setting it up in 2017. And their annual turnover reach over 1 million already. So it's very impressive. And she and her business won multiple awards, including AccelerateHER. And I first met her in Berlin during that trade mission that you mentioned, where she was giving a speech at a conference. But then she also took the time to meet me in Edinburgh and to share a bit more about her journey and hear about Biotangents. And it was very inspiring to meet such a successful entrepreneur with openness to share and openness to advise.
That's fantastic. That's a really good choice. I will second that for sure. Lina, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today and catch up after all this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All that remains is for me to thank our sponsors, Scottish Government and Scotland Can Do, Barclays Eagle Labs and CGI UK. If you want to see more fantastic videos like this, don't forget to hit subscribe down below and click the bell to get notifications. All that remains for me is to say goodbye and thank you. Keep inspiring one another.